Hello farmers, welcome to yet another episode of Kilimo Diaries. Now this December, it has been all about beekeeping. Now if you're thinking about doing that in the next year, this one is to stay put. How do you ensure that your bees remain healthy, active and resilient all year round despite of weather availability and the forage? So on this episode, we talk to Delvis of Beecare Apiaries, who will take us through bee colony management. What are you waiting for? Twende! Now, after that beautiful walkthrough of the apiaries here, we are now with Delvis of the Beecare Apiaries to now shed more light on bee colony management. Hi, Delvis.
Hi, Sheila.
That was fantastic.
Amazing.
I loved it.
I loved your bravery.
Yes. Now, this is the second person. Jaffe, beware. All right. So now let's begin with the nitty-gritty. How long have Beecare Apiaries been in this business of beekeeping?
Beecare Apiaries have been in the beekeeping industry for now 11 years. We began in 2014. So now we are doing 11 years. Yes. And
I know you said you're not the founder, but then since you're always with the founders, tell us what perhaps do you think is the motivation that kept them, made them join this beekeeping?
Yeah, so as you know, Beecare is a family business. So it's my parents who began the beekeeping before I joined. So for them, it was basically the love for bees. They just loved bees. The founder just loved bees because when he was just walking through his farm, he could just see bees all around. He has orange fruit farms, so he'll just see bees all around. Just because of the pollination, he just fell in love with them. So that was the major contributor of him doing this. And also, once he established some beehives during that time, and then now when he got his first money from the beehives, so it was a good venture. So that's how Beecare began.
And I'm wondering then, what for yourself, what motivated you? Why not just break out from the family business and go?
When you're in your holidays, it's just about interacting with beekeeping activities. So through that, you see, I was able to build that passion step by step. Got to understand, even when I was even in high school, I knew all about beekeeping because I was involved all through.
Okay, so currently, how many hives do you guys have here at your apiaries?
We have different apiary sites. So in our apiary sites, we have around 230 beehives. But majorly for us, we deal with farmers. We don't do, you see, the beekeeping that we're doing is not as large scale. So we have farmers, registered farmers here, both in Kenya and in Tanzania. So in Kenya, we have around 3,781 farmers registered across the Eastern counties, that is Baringo, West Pokot, Samburu and Turkana. But 70% of them are in Baringo and West Pokot. And in Tanzania, we have 457 farmers registered, so whom we supply them beekeeping equipments. We train them on the beekeeping part, about the sustainability of bees, and then we buy the bee products from them, and they come and do the processing and see later on. Okay.
Now, I want us now to get to bee colony management. Let's talk about swarming. What first is swarming, and why do bees do that?
So swarming occurs due to several reasons. First of all, it can occur due to colony split. So once a bee colony is huge, they may be able, and if the hive, the capacity is almost filled up, they may subdivide each other. So half of it goes and searches for a new home, and another one retains there. So they move with their queen, and the ones that they are remaining, through the queen cells that have been made, they make their own queen. It can also happen due to maybe damage of where they were staying before. For example, if they were staying in a tree and rains occur, and maybe where they were staying now, it's the house where they were living, it's now spoiled. They have to go and look for another place. So you'll see them moving. At some point, you'll see a swarm of bees just moving, flying around. Maybe they first go and hang around a tree, and then once they hang around the tree with the queen and all that. And now the scout bees will be visiting several areas in search of a new place to live. And now that's where the beehives come in. So in the beehives, we have the attractants that you put inside. That's the beeswax that you use to attract the bees. So you'll see the scouting bees, just a few bees in an occupied beehive, they're just coming and entering, and just to see the viability of them staying there. Once they confirm that the house is viable or they can stay, they now come back with the rest of the colony.
And is there a possibility for bees to swarm out of a hive?
Yes, yes, very possible, and occurs many times. But that one occurs especially due to mismanagement of the beehives, and also maybe maybe lack of forage for them. So, for example, they may come out of a hive maybe due to pests, things like safari ants, honey badgers. They may make the bees to move out of the beehive. Things like during the drought season, places which are very drought stricken, and you find in a 3-kilometer radius, 5-kilometer radius, there is no forage for them to get nectar and water. They may shift to another place.
Okay, and in terms of now, we're talking about them swarming away. For a farmer, what are some of the key signs and to look into so that they know, this one, my hive is about to swarm?
On your beehive like this one, you'll see a small quantity of a small number of bees just coming and entering, but not a huge number. They come and enter and leave, just like even around 15. They come and leave, and then now you notice, and you may notice now they are near to. I have a colony that's near to come to me.
For me as a farmer, how then do I prevent my bees from swarming out?
From swarming out, it's more of what we call prevention against things like the pests. So, for example, the beehive, we have stands which are made to prevent pests from coming inside a beehive. For example, in a metal stand, you may see there is a trough in between that you usually put maybe oil or water to prevent things like safari ants from coming. From the stand as well, you'll see things like the stand, you can put a binding wire to lock the beehive in a way that once a honey badger can come to the beehive, it cannot move there. It cannot even open the beehive. So the bees will not swarm out because of things like the pests. So it's more of just management of how you place them. There should be no trees which are hanging towards the beehive, because the ants will use them to get into the
hive. And as we were starting out, you mentioned something on colony splitting. I would want you to expound first on that, and then tell us, then can a farmer now split their colony to avoid swarming?
If you have, for example, you may find a farmer has, for example, 100 beehives, and maybe 60 of them has bees and 40 of them do not have bees. So what you may do, it's not more of swarming out, but you may do a colony split to create occupancy for your other beehives. Not even just about the part of swarming out and going to another place. So you may come and identify, because you inspect your beehive, so you know which colonies are strong, which are weak. So you go to the colonies which are strong. You do the subdivision. So in a frame, for example, the Langston beehive, it has 10 standard frames.
Yes.
So you can remove 5 frames from the brooding chamber to the other hive, and remove 5 frames which do not have any combs on it to replace them here. So it's like now you've done a split. You have some bees which are here, you have some bees which you transfer to the other part.
All right. And Sasa, I would imagine that once you have, split, say, your colony, your hive, you'd have to care for that new hive now. What are some of the, do's and the don'ts that a farmer should take into considerations once they do that? So
once you do the colony split first, do not place the 2 beehives closer to each other. You're supposed to take it a bit far, because you see, once you put them closer to each other, there's a high chance of them going back to their parent hive. So you first have, if your apiary is, where your apiary is located, the hive that you've done the colony split, just take it a bit further away, so that they first adjust to the new home that they are living. So, and then from that, now it's other preventive measures against the pests now.
Okay. And in terms of like the biggest mistakes that you have seen farmers do in terms of their swarm control, what are those, and how can they prevent some of these mistakes? So
swarm control, one is just inspecting the beehives. You see, by inspecting the beehives, you are able to maintain your swarms in your colonies in the beehive. If you do not do inspections continuous, because you see some people usually take, for example, like 4 or 5 months before even coming to inspect your beehive, to inspect they just come during times of harvesting. So when you take that long, you may find the hive has already, pests have already come in, and they have. But if you're doing monthly inspections, you're able to note quickly, I have some ants coming in, I have some wax moths coming in, and you can mitigate the measure early enough. So the longer you wait without inspecting your hive, the higher the chance of your bees swarming out.
And when you're doing these inspections, is it just checking for these pests? Ama, there's something else that you check for?
You even check for the bee health. Even the queen. If you're able to see the queen, you check even according to their health. Even you can check the queen's performance by observing in the brooding chamber. You observe the frames to see how the eggs, how she's laying the eggs. If you open a frame and you see like the performance of the egg laying is not as good as you expect, it means there's a problem with your queen. It's either she's not okay, or she's just underperforming. Or, yeah. So with a good swarm control, first of all, it ensures that you don't miss any harvesting season.
Yes.
When you keep on doing the colony management each and every month, it ensures that you do not miss a harvesting season, because you may find you come after like 4 months, when the beehive was already filled like 3 months ago, and the bees have already started consuming the honey. So through colony management, it ensures that there is honey production that is going on. Bees are performing optimally, and meaning that's higher returns for you as compared to person who's not managing their colony. So,
and in terms of now managing the hives, how should a farmer manage the hives? Where do they place them? Yeah.
So this begins even now before you even put the hives now. So before you put the hives, you're supposed to invite experts like us and other people in the industry just to come and first do a site visit to see the viability of the place. So there are several things that you check on. So first of all is the availability of forage in the place. We also check on water situation. There should be water also close by, because the bees need water. The thing that you check the bee we assess the bee population to see, for example, you may go to another place, a person who has an acre. For some, due to they have like huge forage water in them. So for some of them, we'll advise they keep that in the same amount of land, and another person will just tell them to put 5, because you see, you have assessed the farm and seen the viability on this farm, the viability on this other farm. But even though in a place where there's no forage, you can boost it through planting of nectar plants. For example, you can plant things like sunflower, bottle brush trees, which will boost the production of nectar in your farms, so that the bees will use them as their food. So even though it doesn't have a lot of forage, you can create a forage yourself.
Now, most important, bee in a hive is the queen bee. Probably, what is a queen bee, and what does she really do for that hive?
So in a beehive, we have 3 types of bees. We have the worker bees, whose their work is to look for nectar, water, and all that. We have the drones, whose their work is to mate the queen. And we have the queen. Now the queen is only one in each and every hive. We have only one queen. And now the work of the queen is to lay eggs for continuation of their generations. So in a day, a queen is supposed to lay around 2,000 eggs a day.
In one day?
Yes.
Wow.
So because you see, for example, the worker bees, they stay only for around 4 months, 4 or 5 months, they die. So of course, the queen has to produce a lot to counter the lifespan of the other bees.
And now, in terms of when a farmer is, finding that queen bee, what are the signs that, this one is a healthy one? It's just chance, probability?
What you do when you're checking the beehive, first you'll notice that the queen is usually a bit bigger as compared to the other bees. She's actually around, even as compared to the worker bee, she's around maybe 2-3 times bigger. So once you notice when you open the beehive, and sometimes you may notice like she's not as active as she's supposed to be.
Yes.
Or even she's just, or even sometimes you may find she's being secluded by the other worker bees. Meaning the other worker bees have maybe seen that she's underperforming and now not. So those are just some signs, and then But the most key sign too, but that one may be difficult to see. But the most key thing is how to check how the eggs are being, how she has laid the eggs on the combs.
So it is in terms of the eggs that she is laying.
She's laying. So and that one you can cross check through the combs. But just looking at the bee, it may not give you like a good view.
That now takes us to our first commercial break. Do not go too far. Keep it TV 47 as we delve deeper into bee colony management.